Most new sellers lose money not because they picked the wrong product, but because they didn't understand the numbers. They guessed, they hoped, and then they got burnt. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use the Amazon revenue calculator the right way. Not just clicking buttons, but knowing what every number means so you can predict profit before you even place an order. This is the foundation, so if you skip this, you're completely and utterly gambling. If you master it though, you're building a brand with control. So let's just get one thing straight. This isn't just about fees. This is about seeing the truth behind the numbers. Too many sellers look at the sale price and then just subtract Amazon's 15% fee and think, cool, I just made £5 profit. But they don't factor in the referral fees. They don't factor in the FBA fulfillment fees. They don't factor in the inbound shipping, the VAT, storage cost, the unit cost, all these different things. And if you're not factoring all of that in, you're completely and utterly running blind. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. So the way to find the Amazon FBA calculator, you simply type in Amazon FBA calculator UK, and the very first one is the one that you should click on. So I just press continue as guest. Then now to get then here you need to enter in your ASIN. So what you can do is, so let's say we're selling coffee cups. All we have to do is go into the URL, copy this. So we'll say like a B, and then it will say like a couple of random letters or numbers. Then when you see the slash, you want to copy those letters. You'll see DP, then you'll see B, and then all that, and you copy this one into the revenue calculator. You paste it, search. Then it will show you that will be FBM, and then this is if you fulfill via Amazon. So what you do here, so the item price, you type in the predicted item price that you plan to sell at. So let's say, so the main competitor is selling at £10.99. So at most, maybe you can sell at maybe £11.99. But realistically, if you're starting off, you probably want to sell slightly below and then maybe work your way up because they already have 3.7k reviews. So what we can do is, let's just say we're going to price at theirs because we have a better way into the market. So we're going to price at their price point. Oh yeah, but keep in mind though, so we're going to assume that you're going to do FBA. For majority of you, you're going to be doing FBA. So we're not going to ignore the FBM. We're not going to go through that today. If enough people comment, then I'll go through the FBM. If not, 90% of you will do FBA. So as you can see here, once you input the ASIN, all of these will be filled in for you. So a lot of people see £5. Oh, I'm making £5 profit, but they haven't factored in all the fees. So they just assume £5, but that's not the case. So it looks good. Oh, 50%. Keep in mind, we're already at 47% net margin already. And we haven't even put in all the other stuff. So typically, the referral fee should be about 15% on average. And as we can see here, it's just below 15%. Then there's the per item fee, then a variable closing fee, which is 0 here, digital services fee for using the platform. Now the fulfillment cost will typically be the highest fee that you'll encounter. And then that's assuming that you're not having any of the add-ons. So I highly do not ever get one of the add-ons because their add-ons are so expensive. For a bit of bubble wrap is £1 per item. That don't even make any sense. But yeah, you can get tons of that from another platform, which I'm not going to mention because they're not sponsoring me. If they were sponsoring me, I'd mention the platform, but they're not. So then all that stuff is just, yeah, so it's best just to get it yourself and then prep yourself if you're going to. Or even, it'll even be cheaper to even get the supplier to do it, not even think about it. If you ask the supplier to add bubble wrap, they add it for free. But then Amazon will charge you £1. Now, so majority of this has already been pre-filled for you. But now the parts that you will need to add into, I keep this on 1, is because realistically, the storage doesn't actually matter. The reason it doesn't matter is because as long as you sell out all of your inventory before the month ends, so let's say it only matters if you're not selling your products fast enough. But with the right ad strategy, getting sales will be very easy. So if we put in 100, we would actually be losing money because we're only selling one product per month. However, if we put it to 100, so we store 100 and we sell 100, then it's exactly the same as if we had 1 and then we had 1 here. So we stored 1 and we sell 1 per month. So let's even say we sold 1,000. We have 1,000 stored in Amazon, but we sell 1,000 in a month. That is a 0. So with the correct inventory management, this won't be an issue. And then with the correct ad strategy, we'll be able to get sales and it will result in 1-to-1 ratio. So that's why I leave this bit blank, because if we manage the inventory correctly, realistically our profit margins will stay high. However, later down the line, we will occur a slight storage fee because we want to get more inventory inside. But realistically, I personally believe that it's better to have less supply and more demand than more stock and less demand. So I always advise people to buy less stock because the storage fee does rack up very, very quickly if you have a lot of storage just sitting there. Let's even say 10 to 1 or 100 to 10. Let's see. That's still not even too bad. But even still, it starts to add up as well. If you have a 1 to 100 ratio, that is quite bad. So make sure you have good inventory management and then you have a good added strategy and then you can easily have good profit. So all of this has been pre-filled, so it'll give you a rough average of how much everything will be. Now the bits you might need to change is this, depending on your situation. Then also this, the cost of goods sold. So typically what I like to do is I like to put the VAT as 0% because I factor that into the cost of goods sold. So I put this on 0% and then I factor it into here. And then if there's any miscellaneous costs, like for example, maybe you want, let's say you want some additional packaging, maybe like you're doing dangerous goods, so there's more fees or something like that, then you put into the miscellaneous costs here. So in the COGS, in the cost of goods sold, I would include the VAT, I would include the shipping, I would include the insurance. So every single little thing that has to do with the cost of a single product sold, simply add it to here. And if there's any other miscellaneous costs, like maybe you have to charge the supplier charge you maybe 1p for a label or something random, then you put the miscellaneous costs here. So let's use this example. So here we're using a travel mug. So let's go over to Alibaba and then we're gonna say that this is quite close enough. Now how many was this? Is it 1 cup? Let's just double check. I think it is only 1. Is it £10.99 for 1 cup? Usually, where's the description? So it is, if it's 30 grams, I'm going to assume it's 1. So if it's 1, let's get the average. So when you're on Alibaba, by the way, what I like to do is I like to switch it to my country. And I am in the UK currently. United, GBP. There we go. So let's get the average. So it's saying about 76p to £1.70. So let's get the average. So £1.70 plus 76p divide by 2. Oh yeah, just to keep in mind, when you see, so we've just worked out the average is £1.23. So this is typically the EXW. This wouldn't include the shipping. Now, if I had to guess roughly how much the shipping is, judging by the size and the weight of the product, it'll probably be like times 2.5. I had to guess with including shipping. For sea shipping, it'll be about 2. For air shipping, it'll be 3 times this, 3 or 4 times. But let's say we did sea shipping, it would probably, if I had to guess, maybe 2.5, maybe slightly lower. So it'll be £3. So we go over here. So a lot of people would have put on £1.23 and then thought that they're making 52% profit, but they haven't factored in the shipping. When you speak to the supplier, I guarantee you, if you want to go and test it, go speak to the supplier. I guarantee you, with shipping, the actual price will probably be around about £3 if I had to guess. So what was it again? £3. Let's round it up to 3.1. So a lot of people would make the mistake and think it's £1.23, but they haven't factored in all of the shipping and stuff. So it'll be £3.10. Then typically they don't factor in the VAT also, so we need to factor that in as well. So times 0.2, so it'll be like 3.7 basically. So realistically it'll be about 3.7. So for this product we'll see about 30% profit margin. The biggest mistakes that a lot of beginners make is they underestimate the shipping costs. And I've told you that for this kind of product, it'll be about 2.5. But always make sure to confirm with the supplier over here. So chat to them and then actually figure out what the actual, all the costs are associated with that product. And then input into here. Because the worst thing to do is place the order only to find out that it looks something like this. The worst thing to happen is you place an order only to find out that the calculator is showing that's red. That's the worst thing to do. So do not ever make the purchase until you have all the numbers from here and then input it into this calculator here. And then another thing is they forget about the VAT. So I always just put it to 0, and then I make sure that the supplier will tell me which one to use. So the supplier will actually be the one to tell me the full cost. So I put this to 0, and then the supplier will input the VAT into it. Then I input the VAT into the number, and then yeah. The third mistake that a lot of them make is that they forget about the prep cost as well. So for some suppliers, they do get a little bit cheeky, and then they start adding additional costs in that you have to add into the miscellaneous costs. And then the biggest mistake is basing it on the item price. So the reason this is a mistake is because a lot of people think that they'll sell at the... Keep in mind that this guy's probably... Is he number one? Let me check. And then the biggest mistake that a lot of sellers make is you see this coffee cup is ranked 11 in the whole of home of their subcategory. So they're ranked 11 and they're ranked 17 in their subcategories. So they're quite up there. So a lot of people just assume that they'll get the same sale price as them. Realistically, if you were to sell this exact same travel mug, realistically you would have to be selling around $7.99 to start off with. So when you factor that in now, let's see. Your profit margins will probably look closer to 8%. In order to compete with this travel, if you wanted to sell the exact same product, realistically you would have to sell it about $7.99, maybe $8.99 if you had like a unique angle or something. But realistically, you'll probably be selling like $7.99, and then we haven't even factored in the ad cost as well. So this product wouldn't be a good product, as you can see here, unless we can probably get this. We can probably get this price slightly down, but let's even see we go down to 3. That's 17%, and we haven't even factored in ads. Realistically, we want it to be closer to about 35% before ad spend. We want it to be about 25 to 35% before ads. And that's a big mistake that a lot of people make. They say, oh, this guy's selling for £10.99, so I can sell at £10.99. Nope. No, you can't. Realistically, you would have to sell it for $7.99, or actually, no, realistically, maybe $8.99, sorry. You'd have to sell it about $8.99, and then your profit will be, and then we negotiate heavily with the supplier. Then we get it to 26%, and then the net margin is looking about 26%. So it's looking okay. We would have to confirm about this number though, because someone's telling me that this number is not accurate. But please, 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 before you send money to a supplier, always use the FBA calculator to make sure that you actually make profit. There's so many people that think they're making a lot of profit, but when they only realize once the product lands that they're actually not making profit. So it's best to figure out all the issues first before having to see it later down the line. But always remember that the model that we're doing is private label. We're not flipping trends. We're building real margin-heavy, scalable brands that starts with precision. We need to make sure that all of our numbers are completely and utterly accurate. I don't want you to treat this like you're checking a box. I want you to treat it like it's an actual filter. Most bad products can be spotted just by running these calculations honestly. Because a lot of people, they like to lie to themselves and then input numbers that are not true. Like, for example, people would input £10.99 because this person's selling £10.99, not knowing that this person has a lot of social proof. So there's no way would he be able to do anything close to them. Realistically, you'll be able to sell the product for £8.99. And then even this here, I have a strong feeling that it'll probably be slightly... Actually, no, to be fair, it does look a bit accurate. But yeah. Most bad products can be spotted by just running these calculations honestly. And that means fewer bad buys, fewer regrets, and way more wins. This tool isn't a flashy tool, but it's very, very powerful, and you can use it to take control. Now, I know I went over in this video how to have good inventory management and how to have a good ad strategy. Now, I didn't go over in this video, but if you do need some help with that or anything in regards to Amazon, you need additional support, click the first link in the bio if you need some additional help.